Hello and welcome to KSS program's online lessons. Today we'll be covering modern board games. Our lesson is divided in three sections: an introduction, popular modern board games, and the fun facts of the day. Before we start, let's take a moment to reflect on today's quote. Bear in mind three essential qualities in all games of intellect: never to show selfishness or to wound the feelings of your adversary, to be modest with a good game, to lose without ill temper, and to win without bragging. An introduction to modern board games. Modern board games are board games that have been more recently developed or have become recently more popular. Variations. Developing entirely unique concepts is, of course, usually the case for new games, but oftentimes we'll see new games that are variations of older games. Exploration. If you like board games, then you should know that new board games are developed every year. Exploring upcoming and newly popular games can be thrilling. Collecting and memorabilia. Just as with sport trading card collecting, there are many active game collectors today. They will maintain pristine conditions and seek game creator autographs. Popular games. A Game of Thrones. This game takes inspiration from the popular television series of the same name. 3 to 6 players take on leaders of the different houses of Westeros and battle with other house leaders using strategy, clever card play, and diplomacy to claim the Iron Throne. Fog of Love. This is a two-player romantic comedy game. The players will create their characters and walk through various scenarios and puzzles. The goal is to create engaging characters, storylines, and ultimately to a happy or unhappy relationship. Amerigo. Inspired by the real explorer Amerigo Vespucci, players in this game help Amerigo on his journey to discover new land. The highlight of the game is a cube tower that players fill with cubes of 7 different colors to determine actions. Using these action cubes, players will sail their ships through a world and land at islands where they can plan and build settlements, thereby earning game points. Ticket to Ride. This game is over a decade old but has been collecting awards for its addictive gameplay. The goal of the game is to get your train pieces down on the board and navigate to different cities while also looking to block other players' routes to these same cities. Agricola. This easy to play game sets you and a spouse as farmers. Players can collect clay, wood, stone, build fences, and other actions you will normally associate with a farm. You can decide to have children to help with farm work. The goal is to control your family and farm to plan a successful future. Trigon. Trigon is a game set in ancient Rome where players try to increase their power in political influence, trading, military, and other important parts of ancient Roman culture. The goal is to earn victory points while avoiding punishments or suffering penalties. Attractions of the game come from the visually appealing game board pieces and the strategy of needing to think many moves in advance to be successful. Maki Koro. This 2 to 4 player game is a fast moving game massively popular in Japan. The goal is to turn the town of Makikoro into the metropolis of your dreams. Success is obtained by establishing businesses, profiting, stealing businesses from other players, and building landmarks. The first player to finish building all of their landmarks wins. Pandemic. A fictional pandemic throws players into an alternate reality where players work together to minimize the spread of a virus. Players cooperate to build research stations, treatment centers, and prevent additional outbreaks. Splendor. This family game is set during the Renaissance. Players are gem merchants and look to transition from their raw gems into nicer gems. Players acquire nicer gems by being visited by a noble, buying gem mines, transportation means, and visiting shops. The player who reaches 15 prestige points first wins. 5-second rule. Similar to category and trivia games, players are given a card and need to name off a certain number of items in a category within 5 seconds. If you can name off the minimum number of items before the timer runs out, you keep the card and earn a point. If you cannot name off the minimum number of items, the player next in turn has the chance to steal the card for a point of their own. Azul. This tile-based game is artistic, as players take turns moving tiles onto their player boards to create patterns on their wall. Players earn points based on how they've placed their tiles, or specific patterns, or completing particular design sets. Wasting supplies deducts points from the player's score. Corkle. Corkle is a family-friendly game where players aim to organize wooden tiles into rows and columns based on their color and shape. Adding tiles to the board and creating a line with all 6 colors or shapes in a row earns you points. When the tiles run out, the player with the most points wins. Gloomhaven. This fantasy adventure game can take hundreds of hours to complete. Players take up roles of adventurers. Players look to unlock characters, find treasures, hunt monsters, clear dungeons, and acquire new items and abilities throughout gameplay to be victorious. Small World. Small World is a light-hearted war game where each player assumes a race of dwarves, wizards, giants, orcs, or humans. Players aim to expand their empire. The world is too small to accommodate them all, so players look to occupy territory and push the other races of the Earth board. Okay, that will do it for today. Let's finish our lesson with the fun facts of the day. Let us know if any questions. You can contact us by email at info@kssprograms.com. See you next time.